outside, but it is pregnant with the truth. It is pregnant with the single intention of destroying your ego. A master himself descends out of sheer compassion for mankind. He has no vested interest in anything or anybody. He is beyond the treacherous ocean of desire. He is here simply to lift you to the state he is in, the state of eternal bliss, the state where only consciousness exists without the I. In the Chandi recitation, which is a recitation of 700 Sanskrit verses on Devi, the female energy, it talks about how Chandi Devi kills the various evil demons. It is not that she killed real humans. If she had killed real humans, she would have been behind bars, and we would not be worshipping her through the recital. The demons symbolically represent the various kinds of evils or ego inside man. And it is this ego that is slain by Devi to liberate man from them. We have to understand that. One of the demons is a buffalo-headed demon. This is to make us understand that some of us are so thick-skinned that how many ever times the Master awakens us to his path, we firmly stick to our path. We are not porous and sensitive to the Master's call. You see, arguing with the Master is the greatest punishment that you can give yourself. I tell you honestly, when you are caught in arguing with the Master, no one can do anything or more harm to you. You harm yourself enough when you argue with the Master. The Master knows how to make each one flower in his or her own way. And the least that one can do is to open out to him with faith and courage. Yes, Swamiji, although I know that you are my Master, I feel hesitant and scared in your presence. The very fact that you have come out with this statement means that you want to overcome the state of yours. You have decided to take the leap. Let me explain. Your being has clearly identified me, but your mind is fighting. If your being has not identified me, you will not keep coming to me again and again. You face a lot of trouble at home for coming here, is it not? The easiest thing for you to do is stay at home and do your work. That would have made your family happy, is it not? Why is it that you again and again want to come to the ashram and see me? Why do you want to again and again face the arguments at home for having come to me? Is it not easier to just stay at home and make the others happy? The reason is, the pull that you feel is at the being level. It will not allow you to go back once it has recognized me. Try as you might, you can't escape. Your being now knows me, but your mind seems to be the hindrance. Remember, always follow your heart. That's exactly what you need to do here. When you follow your heart, you will reach me. When you follow your mind, you will keep missing me. You are so afraid of losing yourself to me. That is the whole problem. Your ego comes under threat. You feel insecure about your very identity. You feel your identity is dissolving. You start wondering where you are heading without an identity for yourself. Your ego faces a grave crisis. When this happens, like in all other situations in life, the ego immediately demands its food. And in this case, you are unable to fulfill it. So you start doubting me. You start reasoning out your feelings in so many ways. You start working out that which is whole and cannot be worked out. Your mind sways like the elephant's trunk from one side of intense love for me to the other side of intense doubt of that love. Remember, love is from your heart, while fear is from your mind. Always, always follow your heart. Love is natural, but fear is societal. Fear and doubt are deeply related and are mere conditionings that have gone into you. Understand very clearly, there is nothing wrong in doubting. Doubt is your torch to enlightenment. It is very difficult for your mind to proceed without doubts. But your doubts should be ultimately transformed to trust. Only then you are progressing. As you move inwards, this will happen. Swamiji, but what do we need to do for this? Just fall totally in love, that's all. Falling totally in love is falling totally into the egoless state. That is why a master who is in an egoless state is capable of only love and compassion. All other emotions like anger, irritation, etc. are pseudo-manifestations of his infinite love. He pretends to be angry and irritated. He comes down to your level, emotes at your level and takes you through one more phase of understanding, that's all. He talks in your language until you understand his language, the language of existence. Yes, but Swamiji, how do we start falling in love totally? It seems like it is easier said than done. The first thing, flood awareness into every action of yours. Become the watcher. You will start feeling that the whole thing is a drama and you are only watching it while playing a role yourself incidentally. Second thing, stop being judgmental about everything you see. When you stop being judgmental, you will simply love everyone and everything with total innocence. When you are judgmental, you don't see what is. You see what you want to see. Most of us have already formed our judgments in advance. They are the foundation stones for us. Then we simply act keeping them as a solid base. Anything we see, the first thing we do is view it with our preconceived judgments. If we act in this fashion, how do we see things as they are? How will you ever fall in love? You can fall in love only if you welcome everything with a freshness, with a certain innocence. But what do? You start analyzing the pros and cons for even loving. When you start analyzing, you miss it. When you finally decide to do it, it may be too late. See, the master-disciple relationship is there only for you to lose your ego. When you are alone, you cannot lose your ego. The master becomes the device, the support for you to lose your ego. The more you dissolve into him, the more you will be ready to open up and lose your ego. When do you know that your ego is dissolving? When you start experiencing a certain joy that you have not experienced before. You will start feeling joy for no reason at all. Just existing will make you happy. Of course, with the master you are always undergoing a surgery of your ego, and there will be moments of deep misery as your ego is getting slashed. But when you emerge out of those moments, you would have taken many steps forward in your growth, and you will feel boundless joy for no reason at all. Just look at young children. They are so enthusiastic towards life. They are so loving. Have you ever wondered why you are not so enthusiastic as them? You were like them once upon a time, is it not? Then where have we lost this enthusiasm and innocence? Where do you think we have lost this? Swamiji, we have grown up and become more mature. We are more experienced than them. Baba, experienced at what? Boredom. See, be very clear. We all think that we are more mature than children and that we have the right attitude towards life, while children need to go through life and acquire this maturity. The truth is, we have become